My boyfriend, his favorite drag queen is Jinx. Jinx Monsoon. He'll go to my shows and be like, how was it? He's like, wasn't Jinx.
Well, speaking of that, this photo.
Where did you get this?
You posted this.
Oh.
Are you extreme? Do you like guitars? Do you like auto harp? Trixie Mattel grown up. We'll sell you the whole seat, but you'll only need the end.
All right, Trixie. The grown-up tour.
Yeah.
Do you feel like a grown-up?
Hey, I turned 30 just a few months ago, and it hit me all at once that I am now officially a grown-up. On one hand, though, you go from being like the oldest 20-year-old anybody could meet to like, I'm just like a young 30, you know, which is kind of different. Besides, this isn't really relatable, and that's part of the problem with traveling with comedy is I've had such a meteoric rise to fame and fortune that it's hard for me to really relate to anybody anymore because I'm like, you're supposed to turn 30 and you're supposed to be like, am I supposed to have kids? Is this my wife? Do I like my house? But I'm just like, all my dreams came true and I'm rich and famous and it all rules. So I don't know.
You don't have the maybe same mile markers that other 30-year-olds
Totally.
are approaching.
Well, like in real relationships, you know, there'll be like people having a baby, you know, and it's like, that's our milestone, we're having a baby. And then like gay world, it's like, well, we're open now. That's your baby. Your baby is someone else's load.
Tell me, little dear, if you only lived here, did you really ever live at all?
Actually, it's kind of my fourth big tour, and it's like, well, you would think you get better at it every time, but instead it's always stressful. Yet it just gets harder because you're like, how about I play my auto harp? And they're like, yeah, we saw that. How about I tap dance? Oh yeah, 3 years ago, ages 3 and up, you tap dance then. What else you got?
So what else you got? What are we bringing out this time?
Well, I hope you like one show because I'm going to start myself on fire opening night, and no, I'm doing a lot more. So the new show it's sort of the marriage between adulthood and childhood, because if drag has taught me anything, adults just want to feel like kids. That's why adults go to drag shows. We all know that's not a woman, unless, hello? It might be, but I guess I like a show where can we make the audience feel like kids, but also address some of their adulthood fears?
You're bringing out a full band for the first time, right?
Show is. Isn't that fun?
Does that feel like a big step as a musician?
Yes, Mary, because I grew up playing guitar in the woods, you know, sitting in a tree barefoot. Like, that's how I learned music. So to travel with the band now is really cool because I'm really challenging myself to make the music and the looks as much of the focus as comedy has been. But you can't show people the same thing over and over again. But last year I was a drag queen in a dress, and this year, drag queen in a dress, you know.
Well, this year, I guess, a drag queen in more dresses.
Yeah, I'm doing so much. Not to like reveal too much, the opening number has 5 costume changes.
5 in one song?
Yes, I'm trying to build 5 reveals in one song. So I'm like, why not? I want people gagged. I don't want to look like a woman, I want to look like a thing. I want to look like a thing that you could pull a string on the back, you know what I mean? Have to talk. I guess I just like to dress up.
Would you ever do another documentary, or are you kind of one and done? Because it was that you really opened up a lot of your life.
Yeah, it was bracing. It's not my favorite movie to watch. I watched it with an audience once, wine drunk, and that was enough for me. Because, you know, I'm a drag queen. I want to put hairspray and concealer on everything. You know, I don't like people seeing me getting ready in drag being insecure about going on stage. I like people to think that it's always fine.
Well, drag is all about the illusion, right?
Totally.
And then the illusion is a little shattered if you get to watch that side of things.
Well, RuPaul says that people love drag because we represent the superego. We represent the most beautiful, tallest, thinnest, confident, talented version of ourselves. And that's why people love pop stars and stuff, because that's what we see in them. And so in this documentary, you see the Elmer Fudd that lives inside the Jessica Rabbit.
I'm not bad. I'm just drawn that way.
In the documentary, there's a large chunk all about fan interaction, and people will put some heavy stuff on you.
Oh my God, I go home with a suitcase of letters of people saying they were gonna kill themselves.
How do you process that?
Well, I take the piece of paper, put it right through a shredder. No, I'm just kidding. Well, I've learned that, like, so I think of people how I like idolize people. Like Amanda Lepore will never know what she means to me, and that's fine. I'll never understand what this means to them, but I know what Trixie means to me. And you know, even for me, this has been like the way I've put clothes on my back and traveled the world and had all my dreams come true. And it's the way I've like, you know, reconciled with a lot of the darker things that happened to me.
Yeah.
And continue to happen to me.
As you have gotten bigger as a public persona and more people know who you are and more people are coming up to you and telling you these deep, dark things, has it changed at all how you interact with people, or are you still the same?
I keep enough people in my life that are absolute haters to balance out the love.
Okay.
I might wake up to a great tweet from someone, and then I literally went on tour for 10 days, and I went to the gym to see Jason Wimberly, my trainer, and I walked in and he goes, "You've gained weight." So like there is some balance.
Cut you
there.
down to size.
Oh yeah, he told me like he was like, you know, I charge more for doubles. I was like, what do you mean? And he patted me on the stomach and went, "Aren't you gonna introduce me to your little friend?"
Oh, wow.
Plus I'm friends with Katya, who of course will cut me down at any turn.
Right.
So I keep the haters. My boyfriend, his favorite drag queen is Jinx. Jinx Monsoon. He'll go to my shows and be like, "How was it?" He's like, "Wasn't Jinx."
Well, speaking of that, this photo,
Where did you get this?
you posted this.
Oh. I sure did. We just had our 3-year anniversary. This is my boyfriend.
This was, as far as I can remember or tell, this was really like the first public showing of this relationship.
It was. And you notice I also didn't tag him because I'm very secretive.
Right.
But you know, at 3 years, things things are pretty serious, and this is the longest relationship I've ever been in. And that's something that informs Grown Up because, like in ages 3 and up, and my show was, some of the comedy was about being broken up with, and then in Moving Parts, a lot of the comedy was about being single again. And in Grown Up, this stuff is drawn from a 3-year relationship, so it's like, it's a different world. It's one thing to fall in love with someone and you're like, "It's great, I love him, we've known each other 6 weeks."
Right.
It's another thing 3 months in.
3 years in.
3 years in. 3 years in to try to keep it fresh, and you fall more in love as you find new things you hate about each other.
Totally.
It's a rich broth. And my boyfriend hates when I put him in my show. Hates it. He's like, you know, I was like, "You really have to tell dick jokes about my dick in front of my mom?" I'm like, "Does she think we're gay so we can share clothes?"
Right.
She's gonna find out.
What does she think we're doing?
But he's really wonderful and supportive. But again, it's great for our relationship that he's like, "You're cool, but Jinx."
But that one's better.
Totally.
Can you give me the Cliff's Notes on you and David? Like, I want to know, how did that come together?
Well, when a woman and a man love each other very much, we met on Tinder 3 years ago, but I'm very private, and so I've never posted about him. I never tag him in pictures. I never, when I bring him places, you know, I just like, I like having a part of my life that's a little more like, this is over here and he's over here, and but I'm not like ashamed of it or anything. But in drag world, it'll be like, "This is my boyfriend, I love him. He works as my assistant." 2 minutes later, "Where's your boyfriend?" "Oh, him.
Right.
I'm over him." So like, I also am private for the reasons of like, if we ever broke up, would I really want people to message me like, "Sorry you're going through a hard time," you know? But after 3 years, I'm like, we can post about it. I have a thing for beautiful, hairy Jewish men. And what, you know?
Is he the one?
He could be the one. He's
Okay.
someone.
He's someone. He's a one.
Yes, I'm a serial monogamy person, so this is like my 4th long relationship, and which for gay people I think is a lot.
Yeah.
Because gay people, a year is like, people are ready to buy you his and hers is towels. You know, gay people, are you guys gonna elope to Palm Springs? But 3 years for me has flown by. But there's definitely a lot of hiccups, which you'll hear about in Grown Up, because there's a lot of things you learn about yourself. You start to, 3 years into a relationship, you start to go like, "Oh, it's me. The problem is me. And it's always gonna be me." You know?
Right.
I'm
Yeah.
a monster.
I'm 5, almost 6 years into a relationship, and it's like, oh, maybe I am the asshole sometimes.
Hello. Like, I want somebody who looks under the hood, he looks under the bed, sees the monster, and goes like, have a nightlight.
Right.
We still have sex all the time 3 years in, which I think is good.
That's a good sign.
I don't think straight people do that. Mm-mm. I think by that point they're, you know, they have a secret Facebook account and cheating and all that.
And maybe children.
Yeah. Well, I think part of what I missed about my growing up experiences, I couldn't go to my high school reunion because I was at All-Stars.
Oh.
And so I missed my 10-year high school reunion. So I was ready to go look at the hottest girls and the hottest guys from my school and the losers and everything and see what was up. And I kind of missed out. But I like to imagine that like I would have like helicoptered in like Sandy Frank and Romeo and Michelle.
Hey everybody! Sandy Frank just landed in a helicopter!
Interesting that you would have been Sandy and not Romeo or Michelle in this scenario.
Well, Sandy's rich.
Right. Oh, that's fair.
Yeah, I would have been Romeo and Michelle and Sandy, and I would have been like, you know, hey, you used to call me gay in high school. Turns out, you're right. Second of all, I monetized it. Thank you so much. But I would have some of those guys. I would have definitely been like, I love you, my boyfriend, but if I get a chance to, it's over, bitch. It's over.
Was it a conscious decision to not put your relationship in the movie?
Yeah, we just wanted to not make it really focused on that. I mean, we don't really talk about it, but my boyfriend's a film producer, and he produces film.
Okay.
So he's the brains and the money behind the operation.
Is being in a relationship, has that helped kind of establish boundaries in all places of your life? That you have this thing that like, that's just for me?
Yes, I like having that boundary. Also, I am so deeply over the top committed to my work that it has helped me reality check that like, you can't work all the time. You know, if it's up to me, I'd be in drag every day, working all day, every day. And having a relationship and having the responsibility to someone else to be present and like, take the wig off and put it in a closet for a few hours is like, I think really good for me.
Good balance.
Yeah, and I don't have to f strangers. Let's be honest,
Hey.
half the reason to have a boyfriend is so you don't have to, it's like being able to cook instead of having to Postmates everything.
Drag is fierce and fun.
Let's get into Katya. The doc.
Sorry, I lost a nail.
Oh, I thought you were getting up to leave. You're like, I don't want to talk about Katya.
Could you imagine if I just walked out?
It's like, you've mentioned her a few times. What changed right now?
By the way, evidence of what it's like to be a drag queen. If I was a normal celebrity, 13 people would have flown in to hot glue this nail back on my hand. But since I'm a man in a wig, I had to crawl on the ground like Velma from Scooby-Doo. There we go.
There you go, all good. The documentary, it's very raw and really gives an inside look to what happened between you, Katya, with the Trixie and Katya show.
Nobody's gonna want to see me without her. Today is probably the last day of filming, I would say, ever.
Has Katya seen the documentary?
Yeah, when we showed it to Katya, our whole goal was like, let's just all agree that it's gonna be shown exactly as it happened. And me and her and management and our assistant from tour, we all watched it. We were like, well, that's how it happened. And also now, because we're completely reconciled and it's so long ago, I think it's important that people can see that like a friendship like that can have a rocky patch and bounce back. You know, by the end of in movie time, 40 minutes later, we are, you know, she's gone through treatment. But I think that because gay people have tendencies to have issues with mental health and depression and substance abuse, not telling stories like that will be part of the problem.
So now you're back together, you're working together again. What does the future of that creative partnership look like?
I remember when she kind of was feeling more herself again, and we got back in the studio and we started season 4 of On. We finished one episode and she stepped out for a smoke break, and it was like, it was like I was being showered with sunlight. I was just so happy. Like, it's all better. It's back to what it was, and it's like, because that chemistry that both of us, that YouTube series, we're in season 5 of it, is what we live for.
Yeah.
It's both of our favorite thing to do. And so we're filming season 5 now, and unless the views stop rolling in, we're not gonna stop. I mean, it's weird to think we're in season 5, and we're not thinking about stopping, but the viewership's only ever growing. I mean, some of those have like 4 million views now. Oh. Why would we stop making them?
Do you have new teeth?
Oh, I have, yeah, I have veneers.
Okay.
Are you living? My dentist, Dr. Sun in West Hollywood, she's the best. She's this really beautiful older woman. And she saw me at the Hollywood Bowl playing with Shaky Graves, this other folk musician.
Yeah.
And she was like, I saw you at the Hollywood Bowl. I was so proud. You were so good. Anyway, I saw you on the screen and it's time for veneers. So I was like, So I didn't even go for veneers. I went for a cleaning and left with veneers. But
That's how you know you're a star.
yes, that's how I know I'm doing okay financially. She offers me veneers, $20,000. I'm like, throw them in the cart, sure, impulse buy. But I used to have country teeth, and now I have, they were like, what color do you want? And I was like, I want Wisconsin white, so LA brown. Yeah.
I think we have to leave it on that note. Wisconsin white, but LA brown.
Thank you for having me.